That's not what the vote says.
There's nobody qualified. There's nobody.
What do you imagine the qualifications are?
What's the qualification? What are you talking about?
You're reading into it the way you want to read
No,
into
what
it.
I got the letter right here, written to. This is written to the
say?
city manager. No, John, I
What
got
does
it
that-
right here in writing. I got it
does
right
it
here.
say?
If you would come in, you got time to get here. I got the letter written to the city manager outlining exactly what she proposed. This is a February 28th letter. Okay, and I've got it. That's you can get it in the newspaper. Okay, you can go online on the newspaper. Every citizen can go in there, read this letter. It clearly outlines that they're not doing the service. The service is provided by the Vets Administration. Nobody is better qualified than them. That homeless team has been around a long time.
With that whole letter, you're absolutely right. Mike and I would have supported it if we had that whole letter stating that they were going to run it.
Okay, right. Well, you know what? You need cover.
The one we got was to write a letter supporting the Homeless Hospitality Center to get veteran funds. That's all
this
it
is
said.
stamped by the city, so I guess you need to talk to the city clerk.
Yeah, you need to talk to then you're talking about this is stamped by the city, this is by the city manager. You should have had it in your hands because this is what it says. What you're talking about is cover because I think you both made a mistake in your vote. You're in a city surrounded by vets.
And listen, that's fine. That's your opinion.
Oh, absolutely, it's my opinion.
I respect your opinion, but we're both going to have different opinions on the reason why the vote was no. And the bottom line is we're both going to have to agree to disagree. But as far as not being there for vets, it's like that's totally bogus. I mean.
Well, you know what? When you come up for election and all the vets see what you voted against, they're going to feel the same way I do. I tell you, my kid's in the hospital up in Newington, okay, been for years because of his problem when he was in the service, this is a vote against my kid. And anybody that's a vet ought to vote against you and against Mike.
Listen. If that's the way you feel, that's great. But the bottom line is don't say we're against vets because we made that one vote against the Homeless Hospitality Center running something. And you read into it the way you want. But the bottom line
every citizen can go online and read what you voted against. You voted against vets.
Every citizen can do that.
That's right, and they ought to. Every citizen ought to. And read the letter, and you and Mike voted against vets.
Okay, my ears are
You know
hurting.
what?
Maynard, I do want to thank you for calling in, though.
I'm going to let you go because I know there's probably lots of people waiting to call in. But the bottom line is you have your opinion and I have mine, and I'm definitely not against the vets, and neither is Mike.
I thank you for calling in, though. I appreciate that.
Good evening. You're on Street Talk with Father Russ and Tambria.
Hey, Father Russ, how you doing, Mike?
Hi.
Good. How you doing?
All right. It's been a while, but you ought to really snap at Jody Rowe. How about $2 million? You recently had an article.
I agree with that.
You recently had an article in the paper about budget cuts and whatever, and they're worried about losing $2 million worth of funding for Cross Sound Ferry, even though that there's still DEP issues. They have not been corrected, but yet they're going to give them $2 million. How far do you think that $2 million would help the homeless vets?
I think it'd go a long way. I know what she turned down and everything. We're fighting. I'm a Democratic independent. You know that. I fight against what Jody Rowe's doing. I also know. Her own party does. Rob Simmons tries to fight for that stuff from his perspective. Andy Maynard tries to fight about to get the stuff for vets and everything else. This vote is wrong. This is seriously wrong.
We know that and who they're for, and
The thing about this one, it's identified as for New London area vets, and that's just wrong. If you don't agree with it, not you personally, but if as a counselor, if I were a counselor and I didn't agree with them running it, I would state so and vote for it to make sure that service is in place for the vets anyway.
Correct. And I agree with you 100%.
Bless you.
Having said that, I'll let you go.
Thank you for
Okay,
calling.
thanks for calling. Stay, appreciate it. You're on Street Talk with Father Russ and Tambria.
Hey, good evening. How are you? I know.
I'm going to get an earplug for my left ear.
Yeah, well, I'm very patiently sitting in my living room going absolutely bananas too, but I'm trying to control myself. Listen, he doesn't deserve to be on your show. He's already voted on how he feels.
Right.
He said he wouldn't take it back, and he's also speaking for Mike, and I don't know why he should have the right to speak for Mike. He's only one individual, not two. That
Right.
doesn't seem legitimate to me. And he can't run his own damn town. Everybody knows it. The whole place is in a mess. So he's trying to judge somebody else when he's the one that ought to be judged. And you got to realize something also, which we should, is that they work for us.
That's right.
They don't think
They're
they do,
supposed
though.
to do what the majority says,
Right.
that we should support this thing. Right. And I know about the VA because I am 100% disabled, and I go down to West Haven all the time. They have a wonderful program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Newington is wonderful too.
Right.
I'm a 42-year member of the American Legion, as well as a life member of the VFW. They have fantastic programs. It's unfortunate at the times, just with the utility bills and everything else, we're having a rough time trying to stay afloat with a lot of these programs.
Right.
But the veterans should be first.
Top.
Your daughter in the Coast
Number
Guard.
one.
Your son in the Marines. Your son in the Marines. It is just sickening how other programs in this country and in this area will fly, and so many of the veterans programs in this country will not. It drives me crazy.
Right.
I fought for my country, man,
Yeah.
and I've survived. I am a survivor, but these kids that are coming home with all these problems, some of them are never going to be right.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's
Not
right.
the stars,
And if we
but
don't support them, it's going to cost us more.
That's right, and what so many of these dopey politicians that just simply are able to draw votes, but that really don't know what page they're on, don't realize that the scars sometimes would be wonderful if they were something you could stitch.
Right.
But these kids that are coming home have other problems that you can't sew up and say, okay, it'll be better. I'll take the stitches out in 2 weeks.
Right.
You know?
We haven't been able
Right.
to do that since Vietnam.
Right, and that's where I come from, and that's
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I was there early in '66 and '67. I had a brother there in '66 in Da Nang. I was in Pleiku. I mean, it's just I don't even care. Now, you could say what you want, and this is not probably the right thing to say. I don't even care if I give a vet that's sitting on the sidewalk looking for $1 or $2. If I give him $1 or $2 and he goes and buys a bottle of wine.
I know.
Now that's defeating my purpose of calling tonight.
I know
I'm just telling you how I feel inside.
I know what you're talking
Man,
about.
do whatever you want to do with that, you know. Well, anyway, thanks for listening to me. I could go on for hours, but I'm sure you have other callers.
No, bless you,
Thank
and
you for
thanks
your
for calling.
service.
Thank you for your service, and we love the call. And again, stay with us.
I think
And don't support him, please.
Well, we won't.
write
we
letters.
won't.
Write letters.
Yeah, please. Right. Yeah, call City Hall.
Write the
Good
paper.
evening. You're on Street Talk with Father Russ and Tambria.
Hi, Russ. This is Russ.
Hey, Russ, Father.
Hi. I haven't seen you in Tambria in person.
Hi, okay, I
but
know.
We follow you. I follow you all the time on your program.
Love you.
And
Thank you.
really represent well tonight the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, from which we both come from.
Amen.
And as a priest and as a friend, I want to commend you for your righteous anger that you've expressed tonight. I empathize with you, with your family. I know that you have many military persons in your family and as friends. And I want to thank you for what you have said. The letter was very detailed from Kathy.
Yes.
And I would like to thank the 5 people who did vote
Voted
for
for
it.
it, yes, absolutely.
And I'd also like to say that the vice mayor was very out of